famous black barrier breaker in the world of baseball. It is none other than Jackie Robinson. Mrs. Bracefield and Adon Richmond are sharing things about Jackie Robinson to help you understand why he is a barrier breaker. He was the first African American Major League Baseball player in modern history. He broke the baseball color barrier when he started playing for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Adon, what year was that?
1947.
It sure was. That was a long time ago. Jackie Robinson played a big role in bringing an end to racial segregation in professional baseball, but it sure wasn't easy. Adon, did the players on his team support him?
No, some didn't want him on their team because he was black.
That's exactly right. He also endured racial insults, threats, and discrimination. Some of the areas of our country were still segregated, and Jackie Robinson often had to stay separately from other members of his own team when they traveled. Some of the other major league teams did not want to play against Jackie Robinson's team because of him. But he stayed strong, and through all this hardship, he continued to excel. There were people who supported him. He continued his outstanding career in baseball until his retirement in 1956. Adon, do you know how many World Series games Jackie Robinson played in?
6.
That's a lot. He received a lot of other awards too. Adon, do you know what one of those awards was?
Yes, he was the first African American inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes, he was, and that was a real honor. He was also the first African American player to receive the Rookie of the Year award during his first year in Major League Baseball, as well as the first black player to ever receive the National League Most Valuable Player award. After Jackie Robinson retired from sports, he became the first black vice president of a major American corporation. Then he made history again when he joined ABC TV Sports as the nation's first black baseball announcer. Jackie Robinson was an incredible athlete who was the first African American to play Major League Baseball since the 1880s.
Jackie Robinson was a barrier breaker.
Hi, my name is Miss Wright. I have one of my students with me today, Amari Waddell. Amari is going to talk to us a little bit about Ruby Bridges. Amari, can you share with everyone why Ruby Bridges is called a barrier breaker?
Yes,
Okay.
she's 6 years old. She was only an African American in the white school with Miss Henry.
That's right. She was the only African American child that was going to school there. What happened every day when Ruby would walk into the school?
They did mean things. They tried to hurt her.
That's right. There was an angry white mob outside that said very mean things and wanted to hurt her. Why did they want to hurt her, and why did they say mean things to her?
Because they didn't want they didn't want black kids in white school.
That's right. Do you think that was fair?
No,
I don't either. That was terrible. Did the marshals protect her when she was walking into the school?
yes,
Yes. Who was in Ruby's class?
Miss Henry,
Her teacher? Were there any kids in class with her?
no,
You mean she was the only child to go to school there?
yes,
Yeah, she was very lonely, I bet. What happened the next year when Ruby came back to school when she was in 2nd grade? Was she by herself again?
No, it was all the kids in our class were full.
That's right. It was a full classroom, and there were children that were black and white that came to school, weren't there?
Yes.
Yes. Even though Ruby Bridges was only 6 years old, she paved the way for students of all colors to attend school together. Thank you for sharing so much with us today, Amari. I hope everyone learned something new about Ruby Bridges. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon. My name is Mrs. Shaw, and this is my 1st grade class. We are here to give you a moment in Black history. Why were Black athletes prohibited? The 1920s was known as the golden decade of sports because of the prevalence and the fame such as Babe Ruth and Bobby Jones. Of course, it should have been more appropriately to call it the golden decade of the white sports. For Black athletes were shut out of Major League Baseball, football, and basketball league, barred from tennis, and unlawfully kept from the contention of the heavyweight boxing crown. But that did not keep us down. The Negro National League was formed by Andrew Foster. Through this league, he created the most two famous basketball teams, the New York Renaissance and the Harlem Globetrotters. On April the 15th, 1947, at the age of 28, I became the first African American player in the Major League Baseball when I stepped out on the field for the Brooklyn Dodgers. I broke the color barrier in sports that had us segregated for more than 50 years. When I finished my season with 175 hits and 125 runs. Who am I? I am Jackie Robinson. I won 23 Grand Slam single titles, the most in the Open era. The Women's Tennis Association ranked me #1 in the world. I held my title for 186 weeks straight. Yes, I did follow in my big sister footsteps. Do you know who I am? I am Serena Williams.
I was ranked #1 by the Women's Tennis Association for 19 weeks. On February 25, 2002, I was the first African American woman to win 4 Olympic gold medals. I was only the second player to have won Olympic gold medals in both singles and doubles in one Olympic game. I am one of 2 active WTA players to have reached the final 4 Grand Slams. Do you know who I am? Venus Williams, that's me.
I'm not the first starting Black quarterback. I was the first starting quarterback to win the Super Bowl in 1987. I was the Super Bowl MVP for the Washington Redskins for throwing 340 yards and 3 touchdowns. I became the head coach for touchdowns. I became the head coach for Grambling State University. I am an executive for Tampa Bay, Virginia, and Washington football team. Do you know who I am? Doug Williams, that's me.
I am the first African American to become the Olympics individual All-American champions at the 2012 Summer Olympics in London. I am the first gymnast to win a gold medal in both competitions at the same
Olympic game. I won 10 gold medals and 1 silver. In the 2016 Barbie released a model after me called Gymnast Barbie. Do you know who I am? Gabby Douglas. I am best known for being a former heavyweight champion boxing and one of the greatest sports figures of the 20th century. I fought in 22 persons heavyweight championship. I am famous for my quote, "Well, I can fly like a butterfly and sting like a bee." Do you know who I am?
Muhammad Ali.
Me. That's me.
So, as you can see, in this moment of Black history, my first grade student said, "We will conquer, we will succeed, we will not be stopped, and we will be who we want to be." Thank you.
Talked about. The first one is Bianca Smith. Bianca Smith was born in 1991 in Paterson, New Jersey. She is not necessarily an athlete, but I wanted to include her because we've been talking about her this month. She is the first Black woman to serve as a coach in a professional baseball organization. So she went to college at Dartmouth College and got a degree in sociology in 2012. And then she was an intern for the Texas Rangers baseball team. She was an intern at the Major League Baseball corporate headquarters. And she was an intern and worked with the Cincinnati Reds. But last year, she was hired by the Boston Red Sox to become the first Black woman to serve as a coach in a professional baseball organization. It was made official this year on January 4th, 2001. The Red Sox made the hiring official. So we've talked about Bianca Smith in our class, and I wanted to read this quote. She said, "The opportunity is amazing. I'm still wrapping my head around it. I probably won't really sink in until I'm actually there." So we've talked about Bianca along with some of our other athletes. Another athlete we've talked about this month recently is Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was born on August 23rd, 1978, and Kobe Bryant is famous for being one of the best basketball players in the history of the NBA. He played guard for the Los Angeles Lakers for 20 years. He is known for his tough defense, vertical leap, and ability to score winning baskets at the end of the game. He is widely considered the best basketball player of the 2000s and perhaps one of the best of all time. Kobe Bryant has a nickname, and his nickname is Black Mamba. And later, a few years ago, he partnered with Nike and the Los Angeles Boys and Girls Club to launch a youth basketball league called the Mamba League to give hundreds of kids free access to the sport. Bryant later created the Mamba Sports Academy to provide lots of training and he provided lots of training for lots of different kids all over Los Angeles. We were able to dress up as some of our favorite athletes. So here we have two pictures of some of the students dressed up as their favorite athletes. Thank you so much for listening to what we've been learning in first grade. I hope you enjoy the rest of the program.